listening to the Ice Prep Podcast. Here's your hosts, Brian and Pat.
Welcome, everyone, to Ice Prep Podcast. Pat, looking like you saw a ghost right off the bat there for some reason. I don't know.
No, I think my camera just froze, to be honest with you.
No, you used that excuse earlier. You're just like, oh, something. I'm just going to stare off into space.
Yeah, I'm still recouping from having to help with the twins and staying up until 5 a.m. unexpectedly. That was a rough day. So
since we last recorded, you had mentioned that there was twins on the way, so the twins have officially been born.
Yes, so I've been re-uncled. I already had 2 from my sister, now my sister-in-law. She just gave birth to twins last Friday. Everyone's doing well.
It was after we finished recording. You're like, and they're going to the hospital.
Yep, it was literally moments after. So congrats to them. I think they listen. I don't know.
Happy, healthy babies. So that's the important thing.
And that's all that matters.
We will get to hockey. We've got a few hockey things lined up to talk about. But I have a question for you, Pat. Okay. Today is March 30th. Why were you making a turkey?
Do you not celebrate March 30th?
March 30th. Happy opening day for baseball. Let's have a good old American Thanksgiving dinner. I don't know.
That's actually a wildly good guess.
Save that.
It really has nothing to do with that. There are 2 reasons that I was making a turkey. So one, the nicer reason, I suppose, was so my wife, she got her PhD 2 years ago. I think she defended her thesis about 2 years ago, and she's been a postdoctoral fellow for a year and a half, 2 years now. And pretty much what that means is it's almost like a co-op for those that aren't in the realm of PhD. I had no idea until meeting my wife. But it's pretty much kind of like a co-op that's paid. So it's like an internship, I suppose. But like at a higher tier, like it's a research and all that stuff, but it's contract based. So there is a time limit. And on Monday, she is starting a full-time job and everything like that. So she is...
I didn't know that. Congrats.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. So there's been a lot of things going on. There's some things slip through the cracks through our text messages. But yeah, so she is no longer a postdoctoral fellow, which is a wonderful thing. So she's got that good old-fashioned job security now. So that is a pretty big thing. So,
and a fancy new office she shares with Pat's jerseys.
It's true. I was sitting at her desk the other day. I'm currently now at my new desk. I set it up finally. It showed up. It didn't get lost in Guelph. But yes, so she finished up.
Don't worry about Guelph. You thought it was going to get stolen. Was
after it went missing.
And then it showed up at your house when you were at the hospital waiting to see your new niece and nephew. And you're like, I'm still going to be here for hours.
Yeah, for every hour that it was sitting on my front porch, I was adding 10% more chance of it being stolen. So thankfully, we only got to, I think, 40% chance. But anyways, so she starts her new job on Monday, but she had a couple of vacation days. So technically yesterday was her last day. So as a celebratory meal, I made a Thanksgiving, Christmas, I don't know, a big turkey dinner. That is reason number 1. Reason number 2 is we got that turkey for free for spending way too much at Real Canadian Superstore. It has come with us now in our move, and it's taking up so much of my friggin' freezer. I had to get rid of it. I was done.
Okay.
Couldn't do it anymore.
That makes sense.
I bought ice cream and I was like, guess I have to eat this whole friggin' bucket now because there's no space for it. So the nice and the real.
Okay. I was like, why is Pat? He's like, I can't watch baseball anymore. I have to go make a turkey. I was like, okay, that's an interesting thing for the end of March. Yep. So there we go. Yeah.
Not even the end of March.
Yeah. We still have one more day. Obviously, for those who aren't watching, and it's a little tough to see even if you are, Pat rocking the Jays jersey opening day, kicking off today for baseball. We kind of sometimes talk about baseball on here. The one thing, even messaging back and forth with one of my buddies all day today, God, I love that pitch clock.
Yeah, they've done a good job with that. That's for sure.
There's a lot of purists that hate it, but I mean, if that Jays game, which ended up 10-9, was without the pitch clock, they'd still be playing now, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So
and they started at 4:15.
And that Yankees game was like 2.5 hours. Give me those games all day if it's low scoring. So congrats, MLB. You did something right.
Yeah, and making the bases a little bit bigger. I already saw some of the benefits of it. There was good high scoring games. I mean, it was 10-9, and that's because of the inability to shift as much as they want to. So some positive changes to rules. It's actually pretty cool to see in a sport doing positive changes. Anyways, let's talk about hockey.
And announcing another World Baseball Classic in about 3 years, because get this, it was successful, and they have fans that didn't really exist before.
Yep.
Huh. Who would have thought something like that, which was nice. I don't have the tweet, but long and the short, the new NHLPA boss said something along the lines of they've agreed to letting international play happen. It hasn't happened. So it seems like the new boss for the NHLPA is going to be very adamant on that, which is good, because we've seen Crosby when was the last time he was in the Canada jersey? Was that the Russia Olympics? Maybe 2014 with Sochi? Was he even there? I don't even know if he was there.
I have no idea.
Because 2010 was the golden goal. We've never had the chance. We've never had the chance to see the Nova Scotia line, which is just a crime. Yeah. That would there was a chance all of them pretty much in the prime for that to happen.
2014.
Yeah, we'll probably never get the chance to see McDavid and Crosby play on the same team together.
No.
And it sucks. We've missed some of the best. Could you imagine saying to people from the late 80s, early 90s, you never get the chance to see Mario and Gretzky play together? They would have burned down the NHL headquarters in New York for that one. So hopefully with a new boss coming in, that changes a few things. He had a press conference. He was very vocal on a lot of things, which was nice to see.
His responses weren't as nice as they should have been.
Yeah, well, I guess if you're coming from working for the U.S. government, you're going to be a little bit different. And yeah, I think I have the right screen pulled up here. There we go. Talking about the Pride jersey boycotts. Do you want to start here?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. We won't stay on it too long because we don't want to get... We'll look at more of the happy side of things because there's been some happy. So we'll go with that instead. Here's the quote from him so some can read it. Marty Walsh saying, "I think it's people's individual rights. If they want to wear a jersey, it's a warm-up jersey before the game skate. I don't think the LGBTQ plus community should feel that the NHL players are turning their back on that community. The majority of the players worn the jersey. A super majority of have one." I don't know what he's trying to say there. That must be a misquote, but saying most of the players have worn the jersey. That probably not the best thing to be quoted on in one of your first pressers that you've done.
So the one thing that I've learned in all of my management career is that you never tell people how they feel. You never say this is, you shouldn't feel this way. It's a form of gaslighting, I suppose. And yeah, if this person is not a part of that community or doesn't stand beside that community, they can't really speak for that community. It's weird to say that, I don't think that they should feel that way. You don't have a say in that. I don't think that you should feel that way, sir.
Yeah, he had some good things to say. That was definitely the worst thing he could have in that situation. Yep. Yeah, I was trying to find the image. I can't right now of one of the good things of it. Because what was it? Last night or 2 nights ago was Calgary's Pride Night. Their
Yep.
jerseys looked, I'm going to use this word, fire. They looked amazing. And lo and behold, it was basically a big middle finger to James Reimer. There's Kadri
Yeah.
wearing it. And
That was like the first thing that I think Calgary showed. Like that was the first image that they put out there, and I don't think that that was accidental.
oh, of
He's
course
not
it
the
wasn't.
captain.
Like, I don't know why Reimer chose Kadri of all people. The dude has been nothing but like helpful and supportive to communities throughout his entire career. That made Reimer look so much worse. And who is it? Money Puck. I can't remember if Cat Friendly did as well for some of those players. They've made their names show up all rainbow. And if you try
Yep.
and go to their player page, it will send you to one of the nonprofits to donate instead. So
Yeah.
um, while we're on that, so we've talked this, not that one. So Vancouver's Pride Night, they win this year before they even step on the ice.
Well, okay. So first of all, you have up a screenshot of some of the activities that they're going to be doing during Pride Night. But there is one thing that I think is even bigger beyond this as well. They vocally, was it yesterday, the day before? I can't remember. But they are going to also be donating $20,000 to a youth outreach sort of thing. Again, sorry, my brain's a little bit. Yesterday I said my brain was a whoopee cushion filled with mashed potatoes. Yeah, that's how it feels. Mashed potatoes or spaghetti. Spaghetti would make the better noise. Anyways, they are going to be donating $20,000 to a youth community group that helps LGBTQ plus youth just feel more comfortable and find themselves pretty much. So that out of the gate, they are doing that. Just on top of everything else, they started with that. That's what they led off with, which huge, so much better than so many others.
Yeah. The bar was set low, and they just basically went, we're going to go as high as we can. So they're doing that. Then things get started. They're doing a drag show with some Vancouver-based performers before the game.
And sorry, can
Yeah.
we pause and talk about that drag performer's name of Karaoke Dokie? Wow.
It's a
What a
great name.
name.
That's a
I
great
love
name.
puns, and that is a wonderful, wonderful pun. That is a pun and a before and after, and I love before and afters like George Michael Myers or Austin Power Rangers, things like that. That's bread and butter. I love that. I love that. I love it.
So there's that, and then Vancouver, as usual, absolutely amazing Pride jersey. See if we can get that a little bit bigger there. I'll have to open up the image itself.
Well, I was going to say, if you go to the next slide, it's got the
There
full
we
image.
go.
There you go.
So you can see it's not just the rainbow flag on there. They've also, I can't remember which the bottom three colors are, and I feel bad that I can't think of it at the moment. Is that the trans flag? I believe it is, isn't it?
Yes, trans
Okay.
and non-binary, yes.
Yes. So they absolutely killing it once again with their jerseys and doing all the support for celebrating the community there. So
Yep.
bravo to Vancouver. And yeah, they actually have the shop where you can buy the gear. If you've got a lot of money to burn, buy one of the jerseys. The only downside is you have to pick it up in Vancouver. They will not ship them. You can only get them in store. I looked because I was like, you know what? I want the hat. And I was like, I will pay $35 for the hat. That's cheaper than
Yeah.
lids.
Yeah.
But you have to pick it up at the Canucks shop, which was unfortunate.
Oh.
So
Well, that sucks. Okay.
mind you, I know this is an aside. I know you said, "Hey, I want to get the puck." If you want the puck, I can get you that puck. I will say that.
Well, I have a friend in Vancouver that can send me the puck.
I have a cousin who is seasons tickets holder who
Ooh.
their mom is flying into the city next week. So maybe maybe there's the chance we'll see if things align. That's an aside. Sorry, everybody.
Interesting.
Okay. Any Poodles.
We're just doing some personal shopping. It's fine.
So yeah, this is the one thing you start sometimes. Yeah, that statement wasn't good from Marty Walsh, and that statement comes out 2 or 3 days after what happened in in Tennessee, which was absolutely. Yeah, that's all we'll say to that. And then the fallout from that. So to see the good side from a team, you have Calgary doing a great one. And then Vancouver, they just don't do pride jerseys. They do them amazingly, and they do events on top, and they fully support. That's the way it should be. That's the way professional teams are supposed to be. They're supposed to be the best of us, and Vancouver's killing it in that regard.
Yeah, so good for them. I'm glad to see it. I'm glad to see that they're stepping up, because the queer community out there is also there's a pretty large queer community in British Columbia, so it's good to see that they're saying everybody here is welcome. So yeah,
it's important.
It's just beyond important. All right, let's talk hockey.
Okay. What do you want to talk?
I don't know. How you doing? No, I'm kidding. Did you know that Brady Tkachuk is almost at 80 points?
I did not know that.
Did you know?
That's pretty. So he's likely to finish the season at a point per game. That's pretty. I mean, you watch him play, and that's impressive. I know his brother hit 100 last night.
Yeah. Did you know that his best friend Jimmy Stu is already over a point per game?
That I did know. I knew that Stützle was killing it.
Yeah. Did you know that Nathan McKinnon is tied for 7th in points in the league?
That one came out of nowhere.
He's only played 65 games. And everyone's like, but Nugent Hopkins has one more point than him. Well, Nugent Hopkins has played 10 more games than him. And is also playing with Connor McDavid, who has, holy crap, 143 points.
Yeah, the separation between McDavid and Draisaitl is ridiculous. That's not even fair.
That's
143 to 116. Even Cooch being 12 back of Draisaitl. Pasta's going to hit 100, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's good for him.
And then the one shocking thing on here, I didn't realize. I actually have something up on it. Who knew Elias Pettersson was at 95 points? And the reason why I bring that up is, where'd it go here? Awesome Reddit thread that I saw. No Swedish player has reached 100 points since the 10-11 season. Pettersson at 95, Karlsson at 91. To me, that is a ridiculous. A defenseman is at 91. There's no way he doesn't win the Norris at this point. Mind you, there's no defenseman that's close enough to take it away, because Makar was just behind Yossi last year but still got it, right? So
yeah, and I mean, Morrissey has decided. Well, I think he might be hurt. I don't know. I know he got cross-checked pretty rough, but
the gap between Quinn Hughes and Erik Karlsson, 19 points.
Yeah, but can we just also pause there for a second?
Yeah.
Quinn Hughes.
Yeah.
He's number 2.
Well, my favorite thing is doesn't Quinn Hughes, okay, so 65, he's finally started to score some goals. He's at 7. He was at 0 goals a month ago.
Yeah. No, it's nuts. And then Kuzmenko from Vancouver, he's sitting at tied for 13th in goals, and he is tied with Bo Horvat.
Yeah. Talk about a player who fell a little bit off the face of the earth.
And Austin Matthews.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
You saying Bo Horvat, I should have had this ready. I didn't. Sorry. One thing did want to talk about, this is hockey related. It's hockey aside, but it's hockey related, is in just over 12 hours or so of us recording this is the opening for Kraft Hockeyville's voting. I bring that up because do you know what the only Ontario city is?
It is West Lorne.
Correct. That is where my wife and all of her family are from. That is also where Bo Horvat played a lot of hockey as a kid, was the West Lorne Arena. He actually put a video out earlier today talking about it all, which was kind of cool to see.
That's cool.
So yeah, the voting for that opens up tomorrow. Make sure you vote West Lorne. Nobody wants to see Victoria get it. Sorry, Victoria. You're like a suburb of Vancouver.
Well, I mean, no.
It's close enough.
I know.
Okay,
but,
Victoria, 80-ish thousand people. West Lorne, there's more people on any given day at like Masonville Mall.
True. Maysville Mall is not really a big mall, but our main mall in London. So, yeah. Just for context, for anybody that's not in London.
Once upon a time, it had a mini putt course in it. It was the greatest.
That's true. I watched a kid hit a ball so hard it ramped up the hole that was called the principal's nose. It launched off of it and went into a pots and pans stores and broke something. It was the most beautiful moment of my entire life to watch this.
Nostalgia with Pat.
It was poetry in motion. Just like you knew what was about to happen the moment that his hands went up and was like he was going for it. I wish I had anything that could record that wasn't the size of like a laptop bag, like this big, like you're holding a cannon.
Yeah, so if you hear this before Saturday at, I believe it's 1 p.m., or it's either 1 or like 4 p.m., vote West Lorne. That'd be awesome because they announce it Saturday as to who wins. The arena gets $250,000 and an NHL game, which would be hilarious there because the amount
they wouldn't be able to house anyone.
The amount of stands that they have, Pat, they could fit the amount of people that are sitting currently on this screen too. That's basically it. So
nice. So they need it, is what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the aside. You saying Bo Horvat made me think of that. So I'd also like to say awesome to see Jack Hughes at 40 goals.
Yep.
I love that. It's like a bunch of players in the 40s, past at 52. McDavid just chilling at 60 still. It would be crazy to see him get up to 70 because I think there's only been 7 or 8 people in NHL history that have done that. So that would be unique people. There's been like 13 or 14 instances, but only a set amount of people have ever done it. So
yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. That'd be really cool to see. And
we haven't seen 70 goals since I believe it's 92, 93, or 93, 94. That was Seleni's rookie year.
Oh right, that was wild.
And
Talk about a drop off.
And he tied for the Rocket that year.
Yeah, that's dumb. What were the goalies doing? Were they playing hockey or were they watching hockey?
I think they were standing, not really going down into the butterfly at all at that point. We're talking players. We'll stick with players for a sec here.
Yeah, I'm also going to just quickly...
Yeah.
Oh, gross. I guess this ties into this. I also it kind of clicked into my mind. Rantanen might hit 50 goals. He's at 48. He's in third place. Good for him. He's having a great season.
You'd have to look it up, but I think that'd still be a few goals behind Sakic's record for the Avs.
Yeah,
but
I think he was like 55 or something like that. But
who knows?
Even still,
Moose tends to score more than once in a game, so he's got the chance to chase it.
True. Yeah, he is very hot right now. So
this is also a team that's hot, and yeah, it ties in because after winning against Colorado, Philip Gustafsson. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You talked about it last week. He was part of that Ottawa Cam Talbot trade, right?
Yes, he was.
So
I need to make that shrine of that person who I don't know his name.
So last 14 games, 9-1-4, 1.65 goals against, a 947 save. His season, honestly, if it wasn't for Ullmark, this would be a Vezina winning season. He's 29-5, 2.01 goals against average, 933 save percent. He is second in both of those categories in the NHL. Also interesting, listening to 32 Thoughts, hearing Elliot Friedman say that he might have Hellebuck over Ullmark for his Vezina.
Oh.
So it could be one of those years where, yeah, the one that you put on, which was for Sorokin, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Um, there's a possibility because people might be like, yeah, Allmark's doing great, but it might have to do with everything in front of him. So there's a world where Allmark doesn't get the Vesna, and who knows, maybe somebody like Gustafsson or Sorokin could get it. It's certainly not going to Igor Shesterkin this year.
Nope.
He's a bit more human, which makes me happy.
Yeah. No, and I mean, don't get me wrong, he's still a fantastic goaltender. But no, Philip Gustafsson, that I think I talked about him a lot last year.
Also,
I
by the
think I
way, that
said
is
that,
a beautiful goalie stick
yeah,
with the
that,
red and green. It's very Christmassy, but
yeah.
the only thing I like about the Wild is they're one of the few teams in the NHL that use the color green.
Well, I was also going to say, like, the Wild branding is wonderful.
Oh, their logo
Absolutely,
is
the
top
colors,
tier.
the everything, and the retros with the brown mixed in. Beautiful, chef's kids. But the problem is, it's just it's Minnesota. Um,
Minnesota mild. Also, I like how the background is they were clearly playing the Devils.
or just three Rogue Devils fans in the picture that they happen to use. But yes, good old Zach Bierk, Bierk. I have no idea. Oh, he's a former hockey player. I can buy his jersey. I'm going to. Uh, yep, Zach Bierk. But
Pat's
yes,
got a new
no.
task for. We'll eventually see it behind Pat back there. Just a random like. Did he play in the NHL? Now I'm curious. Or did he like? Are you gonna
No, he
have your
actually
first?
did.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say, are you gonna have your first like European jersey behind you?
Nope. So fun. He played for the Adirondack Red Wings. What a name. But he was a goalie. Yep, he was a goalie. He's from Peterborough, Ontario. He played for Tampa. He played for Tampa, Minnesota, Boo, Phoenix, and Phoenix.
Okay.
So I have to decide if I want to get a Tampa jersey back when Tampa was Tampa, the good Tampa jersey.
Oh,
You
so
know,
the black with the it says, yeah, but that would
yep.
also be the original Kachina era of the Phoenix Coyotes, wouldn't it?
Right? I think so because it's '03 and '03 '04. So,
You'd have to go look that one up.
yep. Anyway, so now
We're going off
we're
today.
I know. It's bad. But no, we're getting close to the end of the season.
Yeah.
And there's still way too much up in the air.
Well, there's a few things that kind of cemented a bit because there's a few games that have finished tonight already. Where did that tab
Yeah.
go? Um, let's hop back over here, Pat. So the Bruins just won in OT, but it apparently might not be over yet. 2-1 against the Blue Jackets. Devils did themselves a favor, 2-1. Penguins did themselves a favor, 2-0 win, and then none of the other games really matter. I guess Panthers winning.
Mm-hmm.
But that makes it so that things are just a little bit more interesting come the standings. Hopefully this updates soon. I believe this means Tampa has officially clinched. I'll have to check, which essentially means that, yeah, Tampa, Toronto, it's a lock. We've known that since December.
Mm-hmm.
Boston, we still don't know. Are they going to be playing Pittsburgh or are they going to be playing Florida? That's going to be interesting. We know the Devils and Rangers are pretty much a given. Devils are 1 point behind Carolina, but Carolina's got 2 games in hand. They're playing right now, so who knows? I mean, if the Devils can do in that series what they just did tonight, I'll take that all day. They beat the Rangers. They look good doing it. The East. We know pretty much all the teams in there -1.
Mm-hmm.
We know the matchups within reason, whereas the West is just like
Who knows? It's
Minnesota beating Colorado did them a favor because that was a 4-point swing. But
uh,
the Avs still aren't out of it because they do have the game in hand.
yeah.
At the very worst, if you're facing Dallas, you want to make sure you've got home ice.
Yeah, if Colorado has to play Dallas, I don't think they're going to do it.
Dallas scares
Yeah,
me out of the West so much.
yeah, they
Um,
they can score goals now. So they couldn't last year, and that was their issue. And Calgary just willed the win past Ottinger. But I, if there's a team that scares me the most out of the West, it is Dallas, hands down. Colorado, if they're healthy by the time that it happens, they're going to be a hell of a good team. But also, they're going to have so Landeskog comes back. He hasn't played at all. Zero games this season. If there's rust, it will be thick.
yep.
Um, you've got so many other depth players that are just trying to get healthy. You've got Lehkonen who's out with I can't remember what it was, so he might come back for playoffs. If he does, again, he has been out for at least a month. So like you're going to have players coming in and they're going to be rested but rusty.
Yeah, that's where
Super
you hope that they're back when there's a couple games left and they can at least get some of the reps in.
yeah.
Where, yeah, like there's a few teams that their last couple games are against other playoff teams, and it's like, what is that game going to be like? Like, I'll use the example just because I know it from doing stuff at work. The second
Mhm.
last game for the Leafs is against Tampa in Tampa. So if that game doesn't decide a home away, are both teams just going to be like, hands off, let's meet in the playoffs, or is it going to be a setting,
Marlies versus Cleveland.
or is it going to be like a setting of here's what it's going to be like, get ready type thing?
Yeah.
I'd also like to look at our standings and go, well, since we last talked, the Kings have had the worst record in the Pacific because they don't have 8 wins. Everybody else still rocking the 8-win last 10. So Edmonton just can't gain anything, even
Nope.
with an 8-1-1 record. The Avs, they've really improved. They're 8-2, but it's Seattle, Winnipeg, Calgary. Seattle will blank out. They've got games in hand. They still have points, but Winnipeg and Calgary are basically playing a game of, hey, Nashville, do you want a playoff spot?
Well, and Nashville's playing with the Island of Misfit Toys built out of AHL players, and the AHL players are just like, yeah, sure. My name's Luke Evangelista. Let me show you how good I was from the OHL in London.
Like, don't let their 5-4-1 record deceive you, because Winnipeg had the chance to literally knock out Calgary and Nashville. Calgary's had the chance to get in, and they've been like, no, we're not going to play for Daryl Sutter. And Nashville's just quietly, they've got games in hand. They have a better points percent than Calgary. It might be pretty equal to Winnipeg right now. Like, the West is playing a big game of, no, you take the spot. And we don't know. Like, it could be Minnesota, it could be Vegas. Nobody is taking the top spot in the West for some reason.
Could you imagine? Wait, hang on. Could you imagine if by some miracle Vancouver they just win every single one of their games that they have left and they somehow get up there?
So the only way that that can happen, just doing quick math, looking at this in my head, they would have to go 8-0 to finish out the season, get the full 16 points to put them at 90. They would need Winnipeg to go at best 2 wins max, no overtimes. Calgary could only take what, 4 wins and no overtimes, and Nashville 4 wins, I believe, as well, or not 4, 3 wins. The odds of that are so incredibly low, and Vancouver would have to be flawless, and they would have to hope St. Louis, who's been winning, doesn't do the same. That's why, for those who are watching, in the gray text, it says, not making it.
I almost feel like it needs to be a probably not making it, because Winnipeg is not doing anything good.
No.
They've not been playing well. Nashville has been playing pretty good. And the thing is, Vancouver doesn't need to win all 8 of their games. They can go 7 7-0-1, or no, 7-1-1, I suppose, to get that
That'd be
overtime
9
loss point.
games. So it'd have to be 7-0-1.
Oh yeah, 7-0-1.
They
Sorry.
need every single remaining point, and they
Yep.
need every team above them to play bad. The issue is
They
I'd have
have
to
been.
I'd have to look at the schedule. I think there's some cross between Winnipeg playing Calgary and Nashville and vice versa in those. And if any of those go to overtime, that basically is an instant eliminator of both St. Louis and the Vancouver Canucks. So I can look at that one after if you want to figure out. But
I mean, there. I don't know. Like
it'd
I'm
be the
looking
same
at.
thing as being like, yeah, technically, Washington or Ottawa or Buffalo, they still have a chance. It's not going to happen, but like the universe could align for it to happen, but it's not going to happen.
It's probably not going to happen, and I'm aware of that. But yeah. I don't know. I kind of want it to. I want to see Vancouver be the team that sneaks past the two other. Oh well, of course they're gonna get in of Calgary and Winnipeg. That
The way Vancouver's playing, they would be more exciting to watch than either of the 4 teams above them in the standings right now.
Yeah.
What would be hilarious about that to me is Vancouver would end up with the same amount of wins as the Winnipeg Jets and would make it in for this situation to happen. So that tells you how unlikely the scenario actually is. Once again, looking at Calgary tied with San Jose for those overtime losses, if they swing half of those, they're a lock for wild card 1. Like they're potentially nipping at the heels of the Oilers. So it's crazy. And I love it. It also scares me seeing that, yeah, there's some teams that are down to like 6, 7, 8 games. Like we're almost there. Playoffs start on the, I believe it's the 17th. Yeah, the NHL finally put out some stuff saying playoffs start on the 17th. So,
yeah.
but we won't know which teams, what days, when until we get closer.
Yeah. No, I know I shouldn't feel this way, but part of me wishes that Colorado didn't make it because
for a like 3% chance at Bedard.
well, no, because last year that was just so stressful. I was so stressed out. I was
They
stressed
won
out
the
for
cup.
I know exactly. They went to the end, which means for every single game for like every day for like 2 straight months, I was just like pulling at my hair. I was so stressed out. It was unbelievable how stressed I was for 2 months. And I honestly just kind of was like, I'd be fine if 1 year I didn't have to be this stressed.
Well, they'll get knocked out in the first round for you, Pat.
No, I don't want that.
Oh,
That's the worst part. Is I don't want them to get knocked out. I want them to get in. I want them to win the cup. But also, I'd rather them miss than get in and get knocked out.
By the way, something crazy. With the Bruins win tonight, they are officially the President's Trophy winners. So we officially have the President's Trophy decided before a Western team has clinched.
That's probably bad, right?
That just tells you how much higher the ceiling is on the East right now. Like we talked about this last week. The floor on the West right now is so much tighter. Like the teams that are fighting for it. So, and honestly, the way that the East teams are playing this year, they're going to murder each other. And who's ever coming out of the West, as long as they're not limping in, they have to be the heavy favorites. Like it doesn't matter who it is.
Well, I mean, if you look at like the money puck stuff, they're pretty much saying that whoever's from the West has the easier path.
Oh,
plain and simple. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. I am beyond stressed talking about it, and I am gonna have to friggin' talk about it. Hey, did I swear in the last episode? You said you wanted to go and check.
I forgot to go look, so unfortunately. I'll have to go. If I have it written down the time of it, so yeah. Hey,
Goodness.
I can join you in the stress this year because obviously my team's in the playoffs. Oh, that's the one thing I messaged you about this, and maybe I'll throw it out there in the universe. I still have to figure out. I want to do the beer thing, like pick a beer for every Devils game.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
Obviously, it will have to be some sort of red ale.
Now, does it have to be a red ale, or what if the
Could be a red
can was
can.
red? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Red
So
can or red ale. Okay, okay.
so
Or what about and one last thing, what if it was like a beer that had a red fruit, so like a strawberry wheat
or
or
if
a
there's a picture of
cherry?
a devil on it or something like that, maybe. But most of
Okay.
those are probably like habanero beers, so no thank you.
Okay.
So what I want to do, because I don't drink beer all that much anymore. I do like beer. Just the way it works out with kids is
Yep.
try and set aside at bare minimum would be 8 beers, knowing the potential for up to 14, because I'll peak at 2 beers a game because that's probably where I can max at, and make sure that for every single one of the Devils games in the first period and sometime in the second or third, I have that beer in this cup. So I have to figure out what the beer's going to be. Just something that I saw online. I was like, I kind of like that idea.
Maybe. Man, mine's gonna be hard if I tried to do that. I guess I'd just drink Coors.
I was going to say, just go with Coors Light, the mountains. It's just,
no.
I mean, we'll figure one out. Maybe we'll post the question out there somewhere. Maybe somebody will have an idea for us. But leave Pat something to think on too, because maybe he'll be like, I want to do that for the Avalanche as well. Pat's going to look up Colorado breweries. If there's any that sell their beer locally.
They don't. I've looked. There's one that's like the official beer of the Avalanche. And
yeah. Do you want to know what the official beer is of the New Jersey Devils?
Is this Sam Adams?
Labatt Blue.
Ew.
It is brewed.
Disappointing.
It is literally the beer for them is brewed within a 10-15 minute drive of the two of us. They are custom ones that have the Devils logo on them. They won't sell them to you here. I've tried.
Really?
Yeah. Mind you, I'm not drinking blue.
No. That would
I
simply
save
be for
I save
display.
that for special occasions. One will be during a Leafs game. That's for a whole other reason. But yes, so something to do with beer. Bringing back the Devil's Cup, which is sat up here for quite a while on my little fireplace mantle. Yeah, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much. But no, maybe I might come back next episode. I'm gonna do some research.
Pat and I have a homework project for each other, apparently.
Yes, maybe I'm gonna order in some beers. Ooh.
Well, you've got 18, 19 days potentially, so
yeah.
It's just one of those
what I'm
things that I
gonna
saw
do?
was fun.
What I'm gonna do is I'm going to drink a beer that is Nashville based. I'm going to drink a beer that is out of St. Louis, a beer that is out of Edmonton, and one out of Tampa.
There you go.
No, because all of those will be piss water.
I was going to say, that's you also smacking karma right in the face, waiting for it to come back.
2,000%. We are going to lose in 2 games. I don't know how that's possible. Colorado will be knocked out in 2 games because I just fully jinxed it. So there you go. Congratulations to probably the Dallas Stars.
They would be a pretty good winner coming out of the
yeah.
The West, I'm being honest.
I wouldn't be too upset with Dallas if Colorado got knocked out by the Stars in the first round. I mean, that would suck, but at the same time, I feel like they're one of the best teams in the East. I know that everyone's saying Edmonton is. I don't trust it. I don't. They've proven time and time again that they do this every single season. They start friggin' hot and they go on a tear. They hit that mid-year lull and they kind of plateau for a while. The goalies poop the bed for a while, all that stuff. At the trade deadline, they add some people. They come back and they're like, look at how good we are. And then either they fizzle out in the playoffs or last year they got to the third round and they just couldn't get over the hump. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I just don't trust it. I don't think that it's legit. So Yeah.
You know, until you said the third round, you could have substituted everything for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
They hit a high, they have goalie woes, and then goalie issues, and then, yeah. So,
Yeah.
I think from there, Pat, do you have your phone ready?
Oh, it's already up, and the red button is good to go.
Let's get that red
It's
button going.
time. Games of the week.
I know we talked about this before. I don't remember what your game was. Was it Saturday?
I don't even have it up. What is that? This is a very professional podcast. Mine was a Saturday game. It was Winnipeg at LA, and so I wrote that wrong. LA won that 4-1. It was an important game. It was as simple as that. It was something that the Jets should have put up a bigger fight for, but unfortunately,
another game where that goalie that we talked about, Jonas Corposalo, looking good.
But apparently Vezina nominee Hellebuck, which no.
Mine was, what was it, Monday or Tuesday? Monday. There it is, right
there. Monday, 7 p.m.
This one, luckily the Panthers have won since, because this was almost the nail in the coffin. The Senators winning 5-2 against Florida. That's the thing that's scary about the Sens, is they can do that any night. It's just a matter of they just haven't been able to put a full season together with that.
The Sens are a great team, but lack consistency. They aren't a consistent team. So that's what they need to work on.
You have to be consistent to make it to the playoffs.
Absolutely.
We'll start with you, Pat. I don't remember what day you said yours was for this week.
Oh, okay. We're going to start.
I do know. I do remember. And I'll scroll down because I know it's one of these.
Haha, you are wrong. It is not actually on Saturday. However, just before we switch, the matchups on Saturday are stupendous.
There's
Stars Avalanche. That'll be a hell of a game. Kings Kraken. That is an important game for both of those teams. Wild Golden Knights. Again, those are important games for those two teams. Those are 6 teams that are all fighting for position or spot.
Well, one of them is potentially that I'm highlighting for those watching, Stars Avalanche. That can be a first-round matchup already set. Kings Kraken, that can still be a first-round matchup or a second. Wild Golden Knights, the only way that one would math out right now would be the Western Conference Final, and I think that would kill Pat.
Yeah.
So, okay,
hey,
Pat,
at least I've been to a Golden Knights game, so I'll root for them and be like,
and you got to see the Devils knock them out of a playoff spot.
Yep. Sure did.
What day is Pat's game on?
So, and then also that matchup there, Bruins-Penguins. Penguins have to do anything and everything they can. I don't think they have it in them, and I think that this will be the game that if they lose it, they're done.
If they lose it, they have to bank on the Blue Jackets beating the Panthers, essentially.
Yeah. So, so the game that I am choosing for my game of the week, even though it sounds like I was choosing those ones, it is Buffalo versus Florida on Tuesday. So is it one that's actually important? Probably not at that point. And I know that, but I feel like the chip on the shoulder that the Sabres are going to have against the Panthers is going to be substantial. Because the Panthers, they're fighting to get in. They are leading that race. I believe the Sabres are, for the most part, kind of done.
Well, here's the interesting thing looking at the records right now. Not sure if you can tell. They have the same amount of losses, the same amount of overtime losses. The Sabres have 3 less wins. So the Sabres, if they can pull off a New Jersey Devil and just streak to the end, maybe I was wrong about the East being just the kind of 2 teams, because I didn't realize that the only difference between these 2 teams as of right now is 3 less games played by Buffalo.
Yep. So I think that there is a good amount in there that is going to be like between those 2 teams. I think there's a good amount of whether or not the Sabres are still in the fight. Oh man, it's going to be brutal, because if they're out, they're going to be pissed. And they are going to put everything out there on the ice, and they might be doing some more chippy work than they normally would. And
Because it's
it's
not
like,
like
well,
they're shooting for the bottom for Bedard, because they wouldn't really be able to. It'd be a 3% or 0% to get that first overall pick. So that's when they basically play. We're gonna make sure you don't get into the playoffs. So that good
well,
game on.
not make sure you don't get in the playoffs. It's we're going to make sure that you once again are taken out in the first round because sorry, oh no, Brandon Montour, womp womp. Sam Reinhart, womp womp.
So Pat's games on Tuesday. We're gonna jump to Sunday for mine. Let's see if
Okay.
I remember which game I was going to do. Ah, there it is. As it stands right now, one of the first round matchups, the Islanders taking on the Hurricanes. The Islanders, they're not a lock. They're as close to as you're going to get at this point. They've got the point totals and everything. The Canes have the Devils nipping at their butt, and it's a question of, like, New Jersey can't step off the gas. The Hurricanes can't. Mind you, I don't know if I would want to be playing the Islanders first round. Bo Horvat's struggled a little bit, but we've seen him in the playoffs before. He becomes Bo Scorvat. What's his face? Who I can't remember. Barzal expected to be back for the playoffs, and
they had
Is
chemistry.
ridiculous. So this is a potential first round preview, and I think it's going to be a crazy one because you've also got the Devils playing an hour later, so it's going to be interesting that, okay, the Devils can kind of, they won't be, but there'll be the narrative, oh, the Devils can see what's going on in that game. The Islanders lost, they better put the pressure on type thing. So
yeah, true. No, that'll be a good matchup. I think that I feel like it's going to be a boring matchup. As much as it's an important game, the Islanders played the most boring hockey in the world. So,
but then when they get
I
to the
don't know.
playoffs, it's exciting because it's so heavy.
Yeah, true. And because generally in the playoffs, it's not high scoring affairs. So they're
Unless
already
you're
playing that
Edmonton,
game.
yeah. So
Yeah.
there's our games of the week. I don't know. I definitely won last week.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I mean, I enjoy that Winnipeg continues to slide out of the playoff spot. I want them to miss so bad just because it's like, look what you had. Look where you were. And you just went, whee. Good
Started off
job, Rick
so great
Bowness.
with the new coach, and then it went downhill. And oh
Well,
look,
Scheifele.
oh
Scheifele hasn't done anything
yeah, we'll save that
since he was
for
benched.
another time. We'll wrap things up because there's so many problems in Winnipeg, and it'd be more fun to do a post-mortem on them if by this time next week they can't make the playoffs. So
Yeah.
we'll save that for then. Anything you want to add here at the end, Pat?
No, I'm really tired and I want to go to bed.
Okay, I'll hit this button. Say bye, Pat.
Bye.